We're live. We're live. Nice. So yeah, we are. I don't even know what the title of the stream is. Let's check that. So we're continuing on faith, right? So instant messaging today. Okay, instant messaging from scratches. Yeah, it's kind of okay. Yeah. All right. So let's go in here. Let's clear the history. Yeah. I think it's good just to not show any confidential information. Okay, so we're live. Yeah. Welcome, Mary. Mary the. I can't really spell your name. Mary the Trico 8425. Welcome, welcome. You're the highest tier member on this channel, right? Okay, so let's put that here. We might as well even do something like that, yeah. So like, and I think, yeah, we're not able to really scale those ratios. You can only scale this ratio. Okay, so I think on the stream, you can see the chat pretty well. Yeah. Okay. What I want to do today is to actually prepare the code base for the real MLS. So essentially, MLS document. That's the architecture document. So basically, this is the kind of protocol or architecture we want to use for messaging between two or more participants in the system, and we will basically implement that. But to do that, we have to like kind of abstract away a lot of things. For example, like I didn't really plan anything on the stream, so it's basically a let's just do it, let's just see how it goes, and if there are errors along the way, then we have to fix those, or like if yeah, like basically all the decisions we are making today are made exactly when I'm making them, you know. So I didn't make them before the stream. Vona Talk, welcome. Hello, hello. So we're basically doing a very early stream today. Yeah, so it's very early, and that's the main difference today. We will probably also be doing a bit of a longer stream because the goal I want to achieve today is kind of hard to achieve because, as you can see, I already created this folder. That's the only thing I did, transport, because I want to abstract away everything from those 3,000 lines of code because they don't really, like, this is supposed to be just a the executable powering the server, and it's handling like the protocol and stuff like that, so this shouldn't really be the case. Yeah, so let's just go right into it. I want to basically abstract away all of those things. Are you on Linux? Yes, Linux, Void Linux. So I want, like, let's actually just go from here. So okay, here we init those libraries, we set the log handler, we pass arguments, and then we init the server. So maybe we should have something like tls.h and tls.c, you know. That's tough. Yeah, it is. And by the way, we have to do this. So this needs to be a little bit larger so you can actually see things. Yo, bro, how do I learn programming like you? I don't know, learn C, I guess. You can learn it. I don't really remember how I learned it. I think I have those streams where I first tried C online. They are like from 2023 or something. That's when I tried C first, and I made like chess and stuff like that. So yeah. So early, yeah, it's an early stream today. Because we have to get a lot of things done. How do we learn C? Do a project in C. If you have some project, then just choose C for your language and you'll learn it. And that's it. Okay, we need something like a TLS, like a structure that's containing the TLS context, I think, or like the SSL context. So SSL context, yeah, it's basically kind of a TLS state, I guess. And init SSL takes in a context and sets all of those options and stuff like that. Okay. Okay. Use certificate file. Okay, so didn't I just write stuff in here? Oh, okay. I'll put it in the C file. So basically, let's have a TLS state T, and let's have a type def struct TLS config T, and this will have like those hard-coded config flags, like opts. So let's have long, I guess opts, or how is like options. And then let's have the chain file, so certificate chain file and private key file. So we kind of want to pass them. Okay, so let's have chain file, and let's have 128 and pkey file. Look up Beiji's guides for reference. Think up small projects you want to work on and get to coding. All right, G. Okay, do we want to have the cache ID? I don't really think we want to have that. Set timeout. So set cache size. I guess let's have them as values. So how are they taken in? As long. So long. Do we, by the way, want to even yeah, let's cooperate with OpenSSL and just have them specify the types and we just follow, you know, and have shit like long in here, because I think this file will literally be including OpenSSL, because like we cannot have TLS and then TLS is also abstracting away the actual TLS implementation. So you could, for example, have TLS but use Wolf SSL, or I don't know, like the other SSL libraries, and TLS.h would abstract that away. But let's not do that, because like how many layers of abstraction do we want to have? I think that's one too many. Let's have this be the layer of abstraction for specifically OpenSSL. So, and because of that, I think having the types, like OpenSSL has them, is valid, right? Welcome, Who Shadow, welcome. So let's have the timeouts, and the other thing was the cache size, right? And set verify. Okay, I think that is a callback and stuff like that. Yeah, we should look that up actually, because I have no idea. Because currently we are literally ignoring SSL verification. Sets the verification flag for context to be mode. Yeah, and mode is none, you see. Yeah. Mode specifies the verified callback function. If no callback function shall be specified, the null pointer can be used for verified callback. Context must not be null. SSL set verify sets the verification flags for SSL to be mode. Okay. If no call, bro, why do you, what? Why is it, why? Bro. Oh my god. In this case, last verify callback set specifically for this SSL remains. No special callback set before the default callback for the underlying context is used that was valid at the time SSL was created. Within the callback function, okay. Can I just go into here, SSL verify peer, fail if no peer certificate. The last three options are ORed with SSL verify peer. I see, okay. Verify client once. Okay, so I think this callback thing, can we learn more about the callback? Because I don't really know if you normally set the callback at all. I think let's just have for now, let's have in this config, let's have the int verification mode, right? And yeah, okay, so let's have a TLS config CFG, right? Yeah, and then let's also have a SSL context pointer, right? Because this layer should own the SSL context. Yeah, so CTX is why error, by the way? So isn't there like okay, so then error, I guess. So that's going to be the config, and yes, so let's have something like faith status code, TLS in it. It's a peer-to-peer chat. No, there is a server in between the peers, and the server routes messages via the protocol that it's serving clients with that we are currently working on. So yeah, it's not peer-to-peer, like in the transport sense, you know. Yeah. So let's have a TLS. Let's have a const TLN. Yes, we use constancy, by the way. So yeah. CFG. And faith status code comes from somewhere, I guess. So I think from protocol.h faith status code T. Where is that even defined? Who defines faith status code? Is it in client? Faith status code? Here. Okay, so let's include protocol, I guess, but that's going to change as well. So protocol for now. So // protocol. And let's have TLS init return that, and maybe also a TLS destroy, I guess. So SSL context free. So context free. Server destroy. Okay, so let's have a TLS. Do we want to have D in it? I don't know. Like we have to have one thing that is consistent. So let's just have destroy, because server destroy also exists. And this will take in a TLS state. Hello, friend. Hello, friends. Welcome. Penguin operator. Great to see you here at this time. Nice. All right, so TLS init, TLS destroy. Let's first make sure that we have a config. And of course, I forgot a very important thing. We will want to return the TLS state. Let's return it not as a double pointer. So let's have TLS state T O TLS. And let's have O, so TLS state T O TLS. And then let's have O TLS is equal to null. Okay. So yeah, let's build the TLS state in here. So TLS state config and context. Your take on AI? Yeah, I think it's kind of okay. I have to like kind of lean into it because we're kind of forced to lean into it, you know. But I don't know. So maybe I didn't really use it correctly, but it's not really helping me too much. But maybe I have to pay like 200 euros for it to work correctly. And I don't really want to. Would you also want the struct arguments const or just the pointers to them? So just the pointers. So basically, this is just marked as const because the config is not mutated in the function. But I think having this, you mean, probably? It's a little bit weird. So I don't think you do that in C. I never seen anyone do that. You usually don't even specify const in here, but I just like to because then I know that this is just a input parameter to the function. So yeah. Let's have CFG just be config and context be null. And let's have so can we let's have that just at the top of the function. TLS config const CFG to make the structure itself immutable, I think. So you mean that? Is there a difference between this and that? Yo. Okay. Is that actually the case? Because would this then okay. I don't know, maybe there is a difference. So yeah. Yeah, just tell me if there's a difference, but okay, so const in front makes the pointer immutable. The structure itself can still be changed. You mean cfg.cache size is equal to 6? Right, but you still cannot assign it, right? So constant. Or do you mean something like CFG? Ah, okay. So can you then do something like this? Also not. Const makes both the pointer and the structure immutable. Okay, but I cannot mutate both of them, even though I just do that. Right? So in here I can't mutate that, right? And I can also not do that. Or am I missing something? Right? But maybe I'm missing something. Okay, so let's actually try and do SSL init. So SSL init. Is it not there anymore? init SSL. All right. TLSL server method. Okay, yeah. Let's just try and copy all of that, put it into here, and see how it works. So that, and then context is going to be CFG is going to be OTLS context, and so do we want to assign it like that? I think it's okay to assign it like that. CTX. I think, yeah, let's better just have something like SSL CTX pointer. CTX is equal to null, and then we just use CTX for all of that. It really doesn't matter as you are the sole author and know not to manipulate the struct. Yeah, true. So that's why I was saying, like, it doesn't even really matter to mark it const in the first place, but I just like to, so that I just immediately get it, you know. Fail to create. Okay, so we probably want a macro to where did I have that? I think in co-render, to basically log something like protocol immediately. Or let's just write it, I guess. Because this is going to be a little bit weird, because then we have to like inspect the file names and like do a lot of weird shit. So maybe let's just have transport /TLS, and then we can theoretically do something like hash define module name, and we will say transport TLS. Automation of labor, including AI integration, saves a lot of human labor, which then can be used for more do's. AI is good for workers, but bad for the capital, which has to exploit more human labor. Okay, interesting stance. Interesting stance. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. So okay, so let's have module name everywhere. And have something like that. And okay, so do we want to capitalize that? Probably. So failed. SSL initialized, and verify. Return defer with 1. So let's say faith error. Is there even a SSL error code? Okay. Faith error SSL, but this is more like faith error no mem. And in here we say faith error SSL. Let's replace SSL with TLS. Or I think it's even, yeah, let's just have it like that. And return defer. It's taking the return defer from NOP. So that's a little bit weird, because I never use that. So maybe let's have fh return defer. Fh return defer, and then defer. Statement requires expression. Scalar type. If context, free context, and then context equals null is kind of redundant. And yeah. And we set context here to null, so that's going to stay null. How old are you? I'm 18. Yeah. And then let's say faith status code t fh result, and have return defer from faith everywhere. And let's have faith error. It's more like a faith error crypto even, you know. So maybe let's even have a faith error crypto. Set options. So what does set options return? Also a uint. So I think when they but a uint 64T. So let's see. Set options. Error. Why can't I really search? So synopsis returns the option set get options. Okay, set options. Options already set before are not cleared. Okay. With an exclamation mark even. The following bug workaround options are available. Okay, return values. Return the new. Okay, I see. Turns 1. Get options. Return the current bit mask. Okay, that's why it's a uint64T. So we can't really check errors on that. All right, so let's not have long opts, and let's have cfg dot options, and let's have cfg dot chain file. Yeah. The thing is that we should probably have it like this, and then say, I think we might just be able to pass it. So I think that's not even a thing that we have to worry about. But maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. So we're going to see. P key. Okay. Cache ID. Let's just keep the cache ID. And let's have that be cfg.cache size and cfg.timeout. And this is going to be cfg.verification mode. And return fh result. And this is going to, yo bro, what are you really making? So that's just what stands in the title, right? Like, it's not like I'm just pretending to make it and like in real life, like really making a, I don't know, Trojan horse, you know? How did you learn coding in such young age? I don't know, I just learned it. Yeah. So I can't really tell you, yeah. What do you mean by instant messaging? Yeah, basically like if you have a person and you want to message them, you use WhatsApp or any other messenger, I don't know, like Signal and stuff like that, and you message them and it messages, and the message is probably encrypted, right? Like, you know, and this is instant messaging. And also, yes, all right, IGU. What is IGU? Yeah, and basically that's what I'm making, and I'm writing the server like technology for that, and also the protocol and like the client library and the UI for that, which is in this source tree, so which is also fucking large. Brovsky. Yeah. But it's not, it's really small for what we're currently doing, so the code base will expand and expand, by the way. So yeah. Okay, so let's have bro, why am I just opening all of the files? Let's have if not okay, why is it named CFG though? Let's have something like SSL, TLS. It looks very interesting. Thank you, man. Thank you. TLS, and if not TLS, we will return faith error invalid. And in here we will say, yeah, let's say TLS dot context, and then if TLS dot context it does not equal null, then we will SSL context free TLS context, and we will essentially memset TLS 0 size of TLS and TL. Why is it const? That doesn't make any sense. So TLS and let's return faith. Okay. And yeah, so that's the TLS for now, right? Okay, so let's try and just use that. Let's say SSL init is going to be replaced by, it's actually init SSL, by, so init SSL. Okay, for now, let's have the TLS state be inside of the server state. So let's have TLS state T TLS. And what's your major? I don't have a major. I will enter into university in a few months. So yeah, then I will do computer science. Yeah. Yeah, let's say let's actually fh check that and say TLS init with a config, which will be TLS config CFG is equal to TLS config with, and then let's say options. So in what order is this? Because my my IntelliSense, or however you want to call that, it doesn't specify the struct members in the correct order. So I don't know why they just decided not to. Options is going to be all of the options that I don't have anymore because I deleted everything and I didn't remember them. So let's go to CocoCry/faith. By the way, the project Git repo is in the description, so you can start that if you want to. So yeah. And let's go to faith_d. Let's go to source faith_d, and let's find opts, and let's have those options basically. So options is equal to that, and verification mode. Okay, so let's the next thing is actually chain file. So let's say chain dot, so what is the chain file? Chain.pem, right? And the pkey file is going to be pkey.pem. And the timeout is going to be 3. That's what I remember. So 360. Cache size was that, and verification mode was SSL verify none. And then we can pass the config like that, and we can make it const, I guess, even here. And we have the OTLS, which will be STLS. And yeah, and then let's have something like if FHRC does not equal faith, okay, then we will say that we want to wait, what okay, I did that kind of thing, but this is not really correct because the function already frees it. So that's kind of bad that I did that. Right. Okay, bro. Okay. Let's say TLS destroy with STLS. And we can even check return that. Okay, it doesn't return anything. Okay, then I guess. And in here, if that's not the case, then we will do something else. But this is in server init, and this will probably, so CFG is equal to, this will probably destroy the server. So init that, and if that, then we say server destroy. SSL context is null. Okay, so we don't need that. And except for call to undeclared thing, probably because, yeah. So we will need that in here, and SSL context. Okay, so yeah. So let's have TLS context for now. And yeah, let's see if that still works. So let's have a nop. Is the nop terminated? Source/shared.c, no such file or directory. Where? Probably in nop, right? So shared.c. It's going to be protocol.c, so because that's also different. Protocol. Wait, do I have to? So that's going to be the test suite. So why does it include shared? Yeah, we probably need that. So that's kind of true. Let's have source/transport/tls.c. This is the creation of assert fail. Expected. What? Hash include? Undefined reference in faith gen that. No block in. Okay, so do we not say something like knob implementation? We do. Undefined reference to knob block in set client state. Okay, but we implement knob. So can we say hash include // third party /knob.h after that? Okay, that works. Okay, nice. But it still doesn't work. Shared.h in test suite.c. Okay, so it's going to be protocol, but do we need protocol? No. All right, so can we still run it? Closed client, TLS handshake failed. Client change state to handshake. Failed for connection. SSL new failed. All right. So why does SSL new fail? Because we don't set the context. So let's say TLS.context is going to be equal to the context that we actually created. Right? So, and that's a little bit weird. Let's say OTLS dot context like that. Right? All right, and if all of those fail, then it just doesn't work because, yeah, right? Did transport/TLS say anything? No. So it just says SSL initialized, but it didn't say, here. All right, nice. So let's say TLS initialized. Or OpenSSL initialized, I guess, because, yeah. Like that, and then let's say build, let's say faith_d and build/test suite, and it works. Nice. Seems to work. So let's have SSL, like anything of SSL needs to be fully inside of TLS. Right? Read more bytes. Okay. So we should probably need some kind of extraction over TLS read. So let's say TLS read, and it's going to take in a state, and let's have them like this, and let's have TLS new as well, and so does SSL new take in anything? No, but it sets the FD and set accept state. Okay. So then let's maybe say TLS accept, and it will take in the FD. Right. Okay, so do we need anything? Like we probably need some other stuff. Okay, it's actually, there is another thing. It's called accept. So let's say new, more like, and also something like TLS accept. And does accept take in the FD? Not really, right? No, doesn't take in the thing. Okay, but TL, like the accept should get the error and return the error, right? And okay. Yeah. Okay, so I want to do something like TLS accept. It's going to return a SSL status code. So it's going to return an int, and it's just going to accept. And yeah, so let's have them like this now because of the int. And that's going to return the code, all right, and SSL underscore, right, okay. Should also return the error, right, but SSL read should also return the error, right? So let's have int and right. Okay. Read. So let's have SSL. SSL new, SSL set FD, SSL set accept state, accept, get error, right? Client output empty biocontrol. Okay, so yeah, that was that. Let's just have a function called like that. Right, so let's have int TLS biocontrol pending, which takes in the state. Doesn't take in, just takes in the state of the client. Ew, all right, I see. Wait. Right, okay, so I messed up TLS context state, like the server state, and the client state. So, all right. So we need another thing that's going to encapsulate the TLS client state. So maybe let's call that TLS context, and let's have TLS state. So TLS state. Let's return that. Let's replace that with TLS context and TLS state. TLS context. And yeah. And this is going to be TLS state T. Skibidi, welcome. Cool that you're here. Let's say SSL, and maybe also store the FD. With a file descriptor specifically, right? So SSL new with FD, and it's going to return. So SSL new takes in the context and assigns that. Okay, so we have to take in the context, but we also want the FD, but we also need the TLS state FD. Oh, state. And this takes in the TLS state FD, like state, and TLS destroy takes in the context. All right, and okay, TLS write needs to take in the state, read, accept. Okay, so accept takes in the context, right? No. Okay. State. And all right, so what is in here? That still looks good. That still looks good. And then in here, let's just pass the functions. Put them here. Right. Okay, so let's say SSL new. And that's basically that. So let's say all state is equal to TLS state FDT dot FD is equal to FD and dot SSL is equal to null. And let's have a SSL is equal to TLS context. And SSL, if not SSL, FD, module name as a new failed for client connect for connection with this FD. Okay, and then like closing the client, we have to make sure that we actually do that, like as the caller, and this would say return faith error SSL, and set FD for the SSL, the FD for the SSL into the accept state, right? And then here we say if not TLS or FD is less than 0 or all states or not equal all or not all state, we will say return faith error invalid. Cool, right? And here we will say return faith okay. And that's it. So pretty easy function. Okay, so then we can essentially try and do something like TLS new with FD, and then O state is going to be SSL, so that's going to be TLS basically. So let's say TLS state FD SSL, let's say TLS unknown TLS state. Okay, so TLS context T. Free the local TLS state. Okay, so that's in close, right? And we don't perform a grateful TLS shutdown exchange with the peer. We should probably have a function like TLS shutdown. So yeah. So let's have faith status code TLS shutdown, and it takes in a TLS state of for the state, and yeah, so state, and in here we just copy that and have state SSL, state SSL, state SSL. Yeah, let's say memset state 0 size of state. If not state, return faith error invalid. Unfaith, okay. Accept. Do we want to do accept? Okay, and then in here we say fh check. Yeah, we don't really use fh check in this function at all, so we should maybe do something like faith. Faith. How do we handle RCs again? Here, okay, so let's say faith status code RC is equal to TLS shutdown CL TLS, and if RC does not faith, okay. Then we will say result is equal to RC. And let's also maybe say TLS shutdown failed. No. Nice. And in accept, so let's see. So SSL accept, we just get the error. So let's say int RC is equal to SSL accept with state SSL. So let's say if not state or not state SSL. So if not state, we will say unfaith error invalid. And then maybe if not state SSL, return faith error SSL. I think that's valid. And the same for here. And also, okay, so yeah. And then we will int error SSL get error state SSL RC return error, and error. Oh, I see. Okay. get error, will get error just be 1 if it's... So what is that? SSL error 1 to read, error none. So will it just return error none if there is no error? So let's see. SSL get error. Return values. SSL. The TLS operation complete. The result code is returned if and only if ret is greater than 0. Okay, so that's perfect. That's what we want essentially. Okay, and then we need to say int rc is not really. Let's say int error is equal to TLS accept with CL TLS, and if error is SSL error none, we will say that, and then we will say the other things. And now we don't have any SSL calls anymore. We just use the SSL things, so that's okay, I think. Okay, so TLS accept, then TLS read, TLS write. So let's see. SSL write. By the way, in TLS accept, do we use that already? Not really accept. What was the function? New with FD, right? So new with FD. Yeah, right. So we don't really use it correctly. So it's going to be TLS of the client. The context is going to be S TLS. FD is going to be client FD. O state is going to be the client TLS. This is going to be like that, and this is going to say FH check, and then if FHRC does not equal to faith, okay, we will close the client and continue. So, yeah. And SSL write. So let's have a TLS write, which will call SSL write, and it will just return nread, I think. Yeah. So we can kind of get the error in here as well. So wrote, okay, so let's just do this very small wrapper, which just does if, so just does that, and returns, and okay, so that's kind of a problem. So it needs to also return int and write. O and write. And int pointer O and write going to be assigned. So let's say O and write is equal to 0, and O and write is equal to n write, and return faith. Okay. But that's also a problem because we don't really return faith status codes in here. And that's a problem. Oh. So obviously we cannot really return faith status codes. Do we just want to say, so is there an SSL error invalid or something? No. What's the editor? Is it Envim? Yes, it's Envim. Yeah. So I'm kind of inclined to. Can I? Okay, there's literally not something like SSL error. Yeah, I'm kind of forced to almost put the ints into a argument. I guess, but I don't want to. It's too. It's very a weird way to do that. So maybe we can just return SSL error SSL. Yeah, so I guess we can use that. My theme is my custom theme, which is in my dot files, so you can look it up. It's in the nvim folder of the dot files. Yeah. So let's go to SSL accept. It was accept, right? So accept, hello, TLS accept. And if it's error none, so if error is equal to SSL error SSL, then we will say return faith error SSL, right? Or let's, yeah, right? So just like that. I think that's okay. But that's so bad. Because if we have, because look, if we have a real SSL error, how do we distinguish if we want to print or errors or not? Because yeah, that's like fucking ass, you know. So do we just want to say something like int max and say this? So int max is returned on invalid argument fail errors or invalid argument errors. This does not mean there was an SSL error. Something like that. A return value of int max. Okay, we need to say that for all of those. Yeah. Hey, I hope you don't mind me asking, but I have just started learning C as my first language and I want to know how to improve myself. Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. Probably writing more code will improve you. I think writing more code is the answer. Yeah. But I don't really have a way of like, I don't know, telling you that how you could improve, because like I improved by just writing more code. So that's the only way I can like tell you what to do, like because I know it worked for me. I don't know if it works for you, so yeah. Like yeah, I'm Italian, cool. I'm German, yeah, German. Hallo Freunde. Pretty German, right? Okay. So yeah, we just return int max. So that's just a thing we do. Because then we can safely return with error invalid, right? I mean, I was really inspired by what you are doing, and it made me want to make myself better. And that's amazing to hear, man. For real. Yeah, just keep going, man. I guess. Okay, so state, and then in here we also need to say end max. State. No. Oh, out buff. Right. So we need some kind of pointer and we write into, obviously. So let's have const void pointer buff. And it will take const void pointer buff. And we will write into buff. If not buff, it's also weird. So yeah, we can simplify that obviously to not state or state as well or not buff, because now that they all return the same thing, that's what we should do. And so I think checking state SSL is not even a good thing, because SSL will also error on that. So I think the only thing we should even do is checking not state, because that's the only thing that could result in like undefined behavior, you know. Because all of the rest of the arguments are checked by SL, like OpenSSL anyways. Will you drop the full NV? It's just NVChat, you know. NVChat, you can look that up. It's that config with my theme set, which is called Blood Void. So yeah. So buff clamped. All right, we're doing some clamping, right? So clamped is equal to remaining. Right. Okay. So, but this is more like how much we want to write. So we say int n write and let's say n written, right? So because that's how much actually was written. And this is okay. So this is num in okay. I think n write is okay, right? So let's say n written, and this is going to be int n write. And so n written and n written, and so n written, and this is going to be n write. But in here we say n written. Yeah, and also they get the error. And they also return the error, by the way. And that's basically what we have to do. So that. Right? Okay, so let's have TLS write. Okay. States. That's going to be CL TLS. And this is going to be CL out buff plus CL out of. And clamped. So n write is going to be clamped. And n written is so n write equal to 0 and n write. And then we want to kind of FH check. No, we don't want to FH check because that doesn't work like that. So we want to say if the if and write equal int max, we want to continue and say that it's like invalid. So Failed to write %i bytes over the wire. Invalid arguments specified. And there's going to be error. And we will say and write. Okay. This will continue. And here we just like it worked, you know. And error. Okay, so this is by the way error. So error is equal to, okay. And then we do that. Okay, cool. Nice. Let's not call it, let's say clamped. Right. Four errors left, client output empty. So let's implement that, I guess. So if not state, return int max state SSL, return TLS destroy. Does it? Yeah, we already have that. TLS shutdown also works. TLS read. Okay. So let's have or not. Yeah, so not nothing. And is equal to null. And yeah, so let's have int error or int rc is equal to TLS bio control pending CLS TLS, so CL TLS, and okay, so this takes in a it's actually a state. So what's the problem? TLS pending status, so shouldn't be a problem. Passing const state to parameter. Well, because the client is const. Okay, I guess so. Let's mark that as const as well, because it's a constant operation. Const. And if rc equal to int max, then we will return 0 and rc equals 0. And SSL read is basically the same thing as SSL write. So let's just quickly copy SSL read and go into here and say SSL read into tag. Okay, so we need a buff and a num. So void pointer buff and num. Void pointer buff and num. Status cell buff num. That's going to be nRead, and nRead should also be returned. So int o nRead. Let's say nRead actually, because we also set that for write. So let's say int nRead and int pointer o nRead, and then o nRead. Yeah, we actually don't need that because we don't return before. Is equal to nRead. Yeah, we can just say o unwritten because yeah. So o unwritten, o n read, and num is going to be nread, and error is going to just be error for onRead, and we were going to return the error. All right, just like that. That's it, basically. So, okay. And then we can just say cl, so int nread. Not really. So is there, okay, so error. So we will need error is equal to, and also in nread is equal to 0, and then we'll say tls read from cl tls, and then tmp size of tmp and nread. We can remove that and that, and if error equal int max return read frame error. Okay, so it seems like we should not have any SSL calls anywhere. Okay, we have them in here. Okay. So maybe let's say TLS global init. Let's just have a void TLS init global, which takes nothing and just does those functions. So TLS init, and it will have, let's actually be cool and say void and void. And yeah, so that I will say TLS init global. Right, okay. Nope. Great. Close client, fh check failed, faith error SSL. TLS shutdown failed, faith error SSL. Okay, so what does TLS handshake fail? So who says that? Okay, so drive TLS handshake uses TLS accept, and TLS accept returns the error from RC. So, and TLS new from FD, new with FD, sets, does not set ostate.ssl. So I keep forgetting that. So yeah, SSL equal to null is equal to SSL. And okay, so but okay, I guess. Okay, that made it work. So yeah, seems to be working. Yeah. So do we still have any SSL calls? No. Needs to wait. Can you show what the app looks like? Okay, I guess. But the app part is just that currently. why is it Arabic? Because we are having a custom like text engine, and we tested it for various things, and it's very fast. And yeah, so the UI part, like every component is there. We can lay out arbitrary text in various scripts, in various, like everything is like supported, even like right to left and left to right wrapping. And I'm getting cold actually, but all of the parts are there, but the app UI is not there yet because we have to first implement the entire protocol and like wire and connection setup and stuff like that. Okay, I have to quickly go to the call actually, so I'll be right back. What are you up to? Just coding, I'm back, by the way. Okay, so let's actually open APR and just say git checkout slash b transport slash tls git add dot git commit dash m refactor OpenSL slash tls abstraction in transport slash tls git push u origin transport tls. Why do you avoid AI so much? Because I don't really have a reason to use it currently. Okay, so let's say abstracted open SSL call interface into transport slash TLS. Yeah. The interface is currently only used by the server. I think that's enough. Found someone with the same love for low-level systems and control. Using AI for low-level system is like pointing a shotgun at a mirror and directly looking at it as you shoot. For real. You may not intend to hurt yourself. Yeah. Merged. Okay, nice. Right. Okay, so is it like we are streaming for a very short time, so I think one thing I still want to implement on the stream. Let me see. Yeah, for 1 hour. But the broken mirror shards will hurt you. Yeah. That's actually the case. Are you serious? I'm not asking him to vibe code fully. You can plan and code along with the AI, and review the code. Yeah, like you can also not do it. So it's like, why are you not using NeoVim? It's so much fun. Like I'm using NeoVim, by the way, but like it's so much faster. You will like be so much of a better programmer, and in the end, software is still shit. People are using Vim and people are using AI, but the software isn't like even better. So I don't really see a point in that. Yeah. people are still as dumb as they were, and yeah. Okay, so let's have something like what is this comparison? Okay. Yeah, like I don't know if it makes you faster, then go with it. But does it produce better software? I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that software is getting worse, more fragile, more buggy, less predictable, and also those bugs are harder to find because you have to make sure that your AI has all of the context because you yourself don't even have a way of finding any bugs because you don't know what it's not even your code base, so you're literally not working. It's not like you cannot say that you wrote this code and this is like you own this code. It's like code that has nothing to do with you at a point. But that's like AI engineering for me. Basically, working with a code base you know nothing about. But I can see the point of using it while still being a good engineer, understanding the code, reviewing the code yourself, knowing how these systems work together. I can still see the point, but like also, why should I like stream and just everything I do is just done by an AI? So what's the fun in that? Like I'm literally just streaming for entertainment, and I don't think that that is entertaining. You know? If you fully vibe code, yeah, buggy software. I am just suggesting you can code along with AI, reviewing the changes, understanding the architecture. That's yeah, it's a valid thing. Yeah, yeah. You can use AI to as a tool to help you. Code review would be much of a responsibility for it. Too much of a responsibility for it. Yeah, I think everybody should make their minds up themselves, and I don't really judge anyone. But yeah. You should definitely not judge someone for not using the tool, you know? But yeah. So what I wanted to abstract away is something like connection.h. Because currently there is something like Drive client read, you know? And try read one frame and stuff like that, right? And read more byte. Okay, so basically, let's call it con.h. Yeah, exactly. That's also the point. Yeah. Like I am seeing that in real corporate environments, by the way, where the project just grows and grows, and the people, like the actual workers that used to be actual engineers, cannot work with the project anymore because they just because the context size of the AI is just too small. So the project just works until the context size is not large enough to handle it anymore. And stuff like that. So that's a thing. Yeah. Okay, so let's we kind of want also something like frame.h and frame.c. So let's also have them. And pragma ones and yeah. So client reads, drive client read, flush client output, drive client read, flush client output. I think yeah, that's the. Are you using Rust and C? Yes, both. For the UI, I'm using Rust. For the like whole like protocol and stuff, I'm using C. So this kind of mechanism, yeah, let's actually have also something like epo.h, which provides this mechanism. And modify client event mask. Like the question is, okay, the server should probably own the clients. But is that a thing? So yeah, drive client read is a thing that is per client. So that's kind of cool because then we can just pass the client as the argument. Okay, so let's first implement the epoll helpers basically. Right, so let's have something like pragma once. And is there like a generalized word for epoll? Because like naming it epoll, I mean, there is already a file called epoll and sys. So maybe like polling, right? I'm using Void Linux. Yeah, not Arch. Yeah, let's just call it epoll. And it will have something like modify client event mask. Yeah. Will it take client is the question. Probably not, right? Let's just copy that function and let's have it. So what does it, by the way, what does it return? Just returns the exit code, right? Or like the error code. Yeah. It would be cool if it just would return the mask. Let's make it return the exit code, but also make it return the O mask. So umask, was it called umask? I don't think so. So int, and let's say hash include stdint and have uintdt O mask. And then we don't need the client anymore. So it can be fully, so let's say epoll modify ev mask. So modify ev mask, and if you want, you can quickly ask for suggestions. We may not be as cool as you, but we can come up with a solution together. Use epoll when IO uring is way better. Yeah, like IO uring is probably also cool, but it's more like, so yeah, that's why I was thinking, should I actually name the file epoll? But it's like very closely tied to epoll. So we could have an abstraction over both and then try and use both. But I'll have to look into IO uring more before I actually adopt it. I also saw that, and it's kind of probably very cool. But epoll is like basically the industry standard if you look at other servers. So yeah. Yeah, let's implement the function, I guess. Epoll. Okay, yeah, let's just have the signature copied because it's too different. If not, what? If not nothing, we can't really, right? You can say if not O mask. So, okay, what? Uring is new but way more efficient. Yeah, so why? Like, can you like explain exactly why? Like, it would be kind of cool because I don't really know. Epoll event, memsat. Do we need to re-specify the data pointer? We need to. Okay, so I guess let's have void pointer ptr. Each function call in epoll makes a system call to the kernel, which is inherently slow. Ah, and oh, I see. And IO U-ring just makes one, right? But per event or like per what? Per connection? Okay, so void pointer pointer, and then we say omask to mask, and in here we will say the ePol. So this is going to be the ePol FD, and that's going to be the FD. So FD. Conflicting, I don't think so. I guess, right? So let's just say something like that. Conflicting types, bro. Are you serious? Okay. But with IO U-ring, you can queue multiple requests and make one system call, and the kernel will handle everything. Yeah, that's kind of insanely cool. I don't think you can abstract both ePol and IO U-ring because under the same interface, because they are so fundamentally different. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So, but thanks for suggesting. We should probably look into that in the future. Yeah. So is IO U-ring? Can I say something like I just want to look. I don't want to actually do it, but IO. So where is the header for IO U-ring? Or is it not even a separate header? But it is available on Linux, right? It's not like an BSD only or something. Reframe got bytes. Okay, so ePol. We mostly use it for the modifying of the event mask, but okay, so CTL del is also kind of used. I guess so. Let's have a function for that. ePol del fd, and it will say it's only for Linux. I don't remember the header file name though. I haven't used it in a while. Okay, yeah, makes sense. ePol fd and fd, and let's have that and fd, and let's just copy that and return it. ePol fd that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so let's have an actual, like something like drive client read, you know? Let's actually have that function in like connection. Let's actually call it like something like that. So con drive client read, you know? So drive client read, con drive client read. And it should not accept a server state. It should like handle its own state. But what state does it need is the question. So it needs the server config. Interesting. Right, it dispatches into handle frame from the server then. Let's actually call it Yeah, okay. I think drive client read is okay, you know. Why is there always the architecture, man? Pro. Okay, modifying the event mask if that's okay, and modifying the event mask here. So the main thing, server disconnect client. Server disconnect client. So the main thing that happens is if the frame is valid, we call handle frame. But we can also just not do that and just return something. You know? Like return the read code. Right. Okay, so try read from frame. Try pass frame from buffer. So I think that's like even more low level. So let's actually try and port that first. Yeah, great. Okay. So let's just port that into frame. So let's have frame try read full. Try full read. And that's going to be frame read result. So and that's going to be type def because we will type def shit. Frame. Can I say yeah? So read frame read. And so yeah, frame read result, frame read result. Faith frame. So this should probably be something in like protocol. So let's actually for now include protocol. And yeah, why do we need the server config? It's so weird, probably because of verbose logging, yeah, right? So we need to carry that everywhere. Yeah. Do we want to carry it? I guess. And client Conti. Oh. Yeah, so I think client Conti is a thing that is in con. So I think that makes sense. Client con. Okay. That's kind of too large, you know? Because a lot of this is not related to transport. So yeah, we kind of need some kind of smaller structure that we can use only for transport. So try pass frame from buffer. So let's say try pass one frame. Try read one frame. Let's just copy it and see what we will need. Because okay, so we need the connection ID, we need the inbuff and stuff like that. Okay, so this is stuff that should be handled by the connection, right? Yeah. So all of this makes sense. So let's have something like type def struct conti. Transport connection. And it will have everything that is actually needed for transport, like out queue and in queue. So maybe let's also have something like type def struct, and then we will say out will just be, so out will be nothing, and this will be transport qt, and we will have transport qt in and out, and then we will only need the FD and the FD and the what? FD and ID or something like that. So con ID, yeah. So con ID and FD, which will be int FD. Like that. And then in frame, we can accept a transport connection, which will be the connection and a frame. So transport connection, declaration of struct server config. Okay, so let's ignore that for now. Let's say something like bool log verbose, because that's the only thing we need, log verbose. And let's say bool log verbose, and we say log, let's say verbose logging, because yeah, so verbose logging and verbose logging and verbose logging. This will be con. So let's just say CL will be con. That fixes a lot of those errors, and read frame will be frame reads. Try pass that. Okay. So and then in that will be in dot, and out. So okay, only in makes sense. That's going to be without CFG. That's going to be frame read results. Server read more SSL bytes will be what we created. So TLS, actually not, right? Because read more bytes is another function. So probably in con, yeah, that's a thing we should. How are we going to achieve instant messaging? Yeah, we are basically architecting it in a way that I can use the entire thing By the way, we already achieved instant messages, so I can't wait. So I can use the entire thing for real instant messaging and basically implement something like message layer, security type, protocol on top of my current protocol, right? So I can connect to the server, right? And the server, can I just quickly say -v? I think that's not a thing anymore. Okay, so then let's have so this generates a like handshake with our custom protocol, which is basically like OAuth, you know, and authorizes the client, and then we can send a message request. They can sign the request and accept it, and we say hey, and they say they get hey, right? So that's what we currently have, but we want to have a real conversation system that's going to be powered by some sort of MLS adjacent protocol that we're going to be implementing. And for that, I want to have the code base at a point where things are correctly abstracted away so I can reuse stuff. The font I'm using is Iosefka Nerd Font. Iosefka Nerd Font. Yeah. So server read more SSL bytes is definitely a thing of Con now. So let's actually go into faithd and say server read more SSL bytes. And let's copy that kind of, and let's go into con. And this is going to return a frame read result. Okay, it's actually, yeah. So the frame read result is kind of not really about frames, right? So that's kind of a bummer, right? Do we still want to do as if it's about frames because it's kind of convenient? Yeah, let's just do as if it was about frames, I guess. Do we need CFG in here? Server in bytes? Yeah, we kind of need. So let's say verbose logging. That's an interesting protocol you have there, yeah. Thank you, man. Okay, so frame read result and unknown type name bool. My favorite error. You get that error, you know that you're a real software engineer. I don't like C as much. I'm a C++ and Python dev. Okay. Do you intend to make a library for this protocol that can be used by external project? Is that your goal? Not really, but there is a client library that you can use to connect to the protocol and to the server. But you're doing a really cool thing. Thank you, man. Have you tested this over a real network or only locally? Only locally currently, because we're still not that far, you know? We have to do a bunch of shit. Transport const is unknown type because they are including themselves and stuff like that. Okay, interesting. So, okay, I give up. We'll not pretend that it's about frames and we'll actually say something like, so frame reads is going to be con reads, and this is going to be con. Isn't it hot out there? What do you mean out there? So it's actually kind of cold today. That's why I'm in a sweater. Or like zip. Okay. So this is going to be, that's actually quickly, let's comment that out. This is going to be con read result, and in frame, we will have frame read is going to be con read. And ever tried making a code editor? Yeah. I even have videos about that. I think I have one video. Frame read is going to be con read, and server read more SL bytes, and CFG. So let's, let me check. Go ahead. Try pass frame from buffer. Okay. Read more SL bytes is that, and that's going to be con and verbose logging. So, and cool, nice. So server read more SSL bytes was that. So let's say con read more SSL bytes. All right. And we will have a con read result. And it will be in here. And it will include con.h. Declaration of client con. Okay, so we want a transport con. Transport connection, bro. What is up with my mouse? So struct, and this is going to be a transport connection, and let's zip that into the other file. Like that, and let's say read frame is going to be con read, and that's going to be only that. Error is equal to int max CLTLS. So that is true. We should have a, that's con by the way. We should have the TLS state be part of the transport connection. So I think you cannot really argue against that because it's deeply intertwined. Okay. Hello, what's up, H8D13? Welcome to the stream. Thank you. You need to try using Emacs sometimes. Sometime. Yeah, probably, I don't know, maybe not. TLS, okay, let's have that not be a pointer, and yeah. So I would totally agree with you, but only the thing keeping me from linking C++ is also, are you talking about the GUI text editor in C? Yes. Well, Python, okay. So enqueue inputs bytes are using NVim, yes. So limits.h. So don't need that. Right, so we will need enqueue input bytes. So it's definitely part of con. So let's say enqueue input bytes, and okay, enqueue output bytes. We should probably have one function for that. So let's just only have enqueue input bytes, and this will have this will say con enqueue input bytes. Should I try learning C? Do it. Yeah, I spent, okay. You absolutely should only try Emacs when you have a lot of free time. Yeah. I don't really, yeah, do I have? I don't know if I want to spend my time with that. So let's say verbose logging. And let's, do we want to have separate function for input and output? Probably, right? But internally, let's more likely have something like con enqueue bytes, you know, enqueue bytes. And okay, we have those bytes, but we can enqueue it into a transport queue, you know? And then we don't even need to pass the client at all if everything works correctly. So let's have a client, let's have a transport queue, and yeah. And then let's have that here. Let's copy all that, paste it, and so CL, what's CL going to be? CL is going to be, oh my fucking god, bro. Okay, so can I say CL in here? Probably not really. So let's just say CL like that is going to be, okay, by the way, trying to enqueue. Right, so let's hash define module name as we did before, transport / con. And in here, let's say module name and nothing more, basically only that, because it's not linked to a client. So nbytes and is nbytes, it's a size t. Okay, but okay, everything's good. Hey boss, welcome. Only sorting is single-handedly carrying the popularity for Emacs. Is this new generation of in this new generation of programmers law? True. I just don't like it because I'm kind of careless and I can't manage memory that good, and as I'm having my summer vacations, so yeah, I will give it a try. I already know basics like control statements. Yeah, you should give it a try, man. Sorting is from the 2000s after all. He saw computing reach this level of power with his own eyes, basically. Yeah, I probably subbed to you a month ago. I think it was also in your stream tomorrow in the last 30 minutes. You mean yesterday? What was in, or are you talking about my stream? Or like I'm kind of, yeah, my stream yesterday, you mean? Did I stream yesterday? No, I didn't stream yesterday, right? Okay, so verbose logging. So we should probably still keep that, by the way. So verbose logging, tried to enqueue 0 length inputs. That's a good warning, so let's keep that. And let's have module name. Okay, con. That's going to be q, right? So q size and okay, now clin underscore should just be q. Okay, that fixes a bunch of things. Successfully enqueued input bytes. So let's say module name, and we successfully enqueued that many bytes. Oh, 2 days ago, yeah. And like, what was this 30 minutes? The last 30 minutes about? Okay. I would love to learn Rust. Would take a few days probably, but I just love the simplicity of C. I feel you. I learned Rust for that project as well, so I didn't really learn it at all. I just started writing Rust. I don't know. It's like if you know a lot of programming languages, you just really learn while actually writing. So it's like you write a thing once and you already know how it works, and it's like pretty easy to learn a language, I think. But to really understand it, obviously, like it's not, I wouldn't say that I'm a Rust pro, you know? Yeah. Server and queue input bytes. Still don't have that. That makes sense. Right. So what we should do is con enqueue bytes, con dot in and con dot in, and it should take bytes, and verbose logging should be verbose logging. Nice. So we actually just, yeah, did that. That's amazing. Nice. Any like tips so I don't get confused during the memory fixes and leaks? That's my weakness. I don't, yeah. Just use malloc and free. Yeah. Malloc and free is the way. You will not have any like issues after that, probably. So it's all going to be fine. Don't worry. Don't worry, champ. Oh my god, why is it doing that? Okay, but it doesn't matter, right? Because it's just a space that is not inside the string, so everything's good. Yeah. Does this look good? Does this look good? Yeah, looks good. Now, try frame, try full read. Right, okay, so read more SSL bytes. Do we have that? Read more SSL bytes, and does it work? Read more SSL bytes. Seems to, right? So now we should be able to say con read more SSL bytes. I'm trying to learn. Okay. Instant messaging. Imagine having to learn new things every time a new update comes out. I learned C++ 17, but now there's so much stuff that I don't want to be bothered when I can utilize my time working instead. I see. Yeah, that's a bummer. Right. Okay. So let's implement try pass frame from buffer. I think try pass frame from buffer is literally just decoding a buffer. Yeah, literally. Let's still implement it. Try, so, yeah. Let's have that. Let's have frame try parse from buffer. Are you also trying to make the GUI because I can see frame.c and frame.h? That's actually about the protocol framing with like binary frames. Oh my god. I thought I was like fucking I closed my window manager or something. So basically I have the GUI also cannot open resource. Okay, so cargo run. The GUI is looking like that currently because we are building our own like UI framework and rendering engine, and Vulkan is, yeah, so it's literally a Vulkan implementation, you know. But the UI, that's going to be the UI of, you know, so that's actually okay. Let's actually quickly do that side quest. I just need that kind of dopamine shit. Let's remove all of this testing because of like the Arabic characters we tested because we had to do layouting. Okay, so let's say faith instant messaging. Messaging. Is it written like that? Messaging, yeah. I'll go run. Drink coffee, I guess. Okay, and then lorem ipsum, let's not do that. And also the layout time, that's like a debugging thing, right? So let's not. Let's just render the text wrapped. And let's don't do that. Let's don't have the image because the image is basically unrelated. Load the fonts, I guess. Do we need base font and mixed? So what is, that's going to be font handle, but why are there two? Render wrapped, font handle. So why are there two still? Ah, that's just the string. Okay, so let's remove that and let's say base font. Let's load that first. And let's remove that. And let's say faith instant messaging. And right, okay, so image width and image height, we don't need that. Can we, do we have a way to get, yeah, we have one. So we can just say, okay, let's just say 50-50 for now. So 50.0, 50.0. And what is that? Base font and max width. Let's say -50. Faith instant messaging. Okay, so let's have something like let cursor is equal to 50, and let fucking layout, and I think the layout gives us width and also height, maybe, yeah. And then we say cursor plus equal, and then let padding is equal to, let's say padding is equal to 10. And we will say plus equal layout dot height. We cannot, bro. Holy Rust, holy Rust. Is it like that? I already forgot. Okay, and then we say cursor, padding, so plus padding. But let's, is there const? Okay, so, and then okay, so can I just say something like cursor plus equal that dot width? Or is Rust going to shit itself? Cursor plus padding plus padding. Send a new, or like send message. Did you write a lot of things? I think they send it. I might be here every stream, but I will keep supporting CocoCry. Nice. Thank you. Okay, that's great, actually. So that's amazing. We should obviously say 50 cursors. I'm just saying it down. 50 cursor. All right, so okay, so we did well. Good one, right? Okay. So I think now we cannot really say anything. You making your own GI library? Yeah, using Vulkan, yes. Yes. That's what we did in Rust. In the earlier streams, you can look those up. I have a slight feeling that height is never correctly assigned. So where was render wrapped does a baseline layout cached, which takes height, and height is just line.length times line height. Isn't that kind of hard? Yes. I use both OpenGL and Vulkan. I have both backends. So we can... So we have a Vulkan and a... so Vulkan is fucking 4,000 lines of code, and OpenGL is like 1,000. So it's... Yeah, we have both backends. That's a hard thing to do. Using OpenGL or... What is going on here? Let's actually print the height. So is there... I think it might actually just be 0 because it looks like only padding is contributing. How do I print stuff again? So can I say height? So let's say let layout, and it's going to be layouts.height. Okay, you have to do that. I'll Rust. 33, so that makes full-on sense. 33 makes sense, right? So can I say plus layout.height? So is Rust just not working like that? So can I not say plus equal that? So that should work, right? So plus height. Okay, so what was the problem? Because of the padding? That can't be the case. Cursor is equal to... Oh, I see. Okay, I just did a little bit of an oopsie doopsie, you might say. So let's have the padding be 0. And by the way, what I wanted is I can probably load a JetBrains Mono Nerd font regular. So what do we use only that? So let's actually remove all of those. Color emoji and regular. Okay, so do I have Noto Sans user share fonts? Can I say FC? How do I FC list? Okay, so in user, so cd user share fonts Noto, and let's say sudo copy. I don't know if I have to sudo that, probably not. Noto sans bold.ttf into checks faith /assets Sanyan. If I were a good person, I would probably have muted my mic. Hello, handsome coder. Welcome to the stream, man. Overshot. Welcome. Hey, after you're done with this project, you can try to make a programming language like Python, of course simpler, in C, Rust. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll never be done with this project in the first place, so yeah. Okay, so let's load a bold font. Bold. And then we will render, so fucking bold fonts. Will it crash? Oh my god, bro. It literally just works. Right, so let's do a cool thing where we just say, is there text dot fucking dimensions or something? Or how did I fucking call it? I don't even remember. Measure probably, yeah. Measure, bro. Is there not text.measure? Oh my goodness. Is there really not a function to measure text? I think there might not be. Public or pubfn, load font, render wrapped, new. Only that. And if no font supports a glyph, it is not rendered. The given font is the preferred font to render glyphs with. If a graphene cluster is not supported, yeah. Okay. But, sir, why did you not implement a measure function? Right? Oh, we could just call that function to do that, because this is measuring. Yeah, I think that would be good. Let's have pubfn measure, and it takes in those things. So it basically does like it just calls. It's just a different. It's just a flavor of layout cached. So measure, and can I just say layout cached? Yeah, nice. So let's say let dimensions is equal to text dot measure send message with base font and options being so how do we do that again? Text layout options. Can you like construct it like this? Max width is equal to yeah. So let's have also a function measure. That's just simpler. So let's say measure wrapped or measure with options. And this will be just measure and it just won't take in options. And it will provide default options. So self.measure with options. And the options will be text layout options. And max width is just going to be 0. What is the no value for max width? Max width? pubfn render. Current width is not equal to okay. Dot seal. So let's just say max width, I don't know, let's just say is equal to fucking. Okay, let's first try 0, because I don't remember. Is max width, what is the type of max width? F32. So maybe I can just say -1. How do you do that in Rust? Like that? Nice. But let's first try 0 and see if it just, yeah, how it behaves, you know. And then let's call measure with base font and let's say print ln dim like x, and then dim dot width, dim dot height. What are your specs? You mean my PC specs? Pfetch? Like my PC specs, I don't know how you see that on Linux. I don't know. Is there NeoFetch? No, it's not found. I don't know. Like in NeoFetch you can see that, but Pfetch probably there is some way. He is stressing out, so guys, we should shut up and let him solve. It's okay, no problem. You can always write in the chat. It's there for you to write in. So okay, so the size seems correct. Okay, so that's great. Send message, and what I want to do, so the thing I even want to do is, now that I have the dimension, we can say height minus dim.height minus padding. And here we can say width minus dim.width divided by 2. And what's your issue? Cannot subtract. So how do you do that again? In Rust, how do you cast shit? Oh, I really don't know. F32? Rovsky, cast U32 to F32 Rust. Oh, can you just tell me, is it? Oh my god, bro. S. Thank you. Value cursor. Okay, so we don't need cursor anymore. That's correct. Thank you, Mr. Rustboro, or something like that. I don't know. Using a let's. Yeah, no problem. Right, so that's what I wanted to do. Great. So that's what I wanted to do. That's all. Like, right? So that's all. We can, like, I'm just messing around, you know? And by the way, the size seems incorrect. Right? So the width seems kind of incorrect. Is it because it's wrapping in the... So let's actually not render wrap, let's render normally. And this will not take in that. Okay. So, okay, and it takes in the thing like that. I'm using Void Linux as my distro. Send, okay. And text.measure, let's try fucking 9999. Okay, so it actually was wrapping, so yeah. What if we have -1? It stops working. So do we actually just want to say F32T max? Is there something like that? SCD F32 max. Great. And let's have padding be something like, oh, it's not even anything, so 10. Noise, maybe like even 20, maybe even 50, because we have 50 on top, right? Can we have an emoji close? Copy. Okay, so can we say, good job? No. Yeah, fucking good job, yo. No, it's very, it's just, I'm trying to, do we want to have it wrapping in here? Probably not. I'm just trying to do something that is not too hard, you know, and maybe a little bit more entertaining, than just fucking rewriting my C code base. So can we do that? What will you do with this project after it's done? Deploying it, you know? Deploying it and then actually using it. I want to have a alternative to actually control for myself for instant messaging. I want to actually have a mobile app that I will download and that my friends will download, and we will write, you know? WhatsApp. Yeah, it's basically like WhatsApp, yeah. Let's say emoji font is the font we want to use, but it should, yeah, it should kind of infer that from fallback fonts automatically. GPU and UI is going to be the like fucking mute UI and mute. Where can I buy the IPO? What's the IPO? I don't know. You mean the app? It's not out yet, man. It's not out. Okay, so I can render that emoji. I want to, however, render it at text. I want to render it at let dim 1. I'm by the way, it's just for funsies, you know. This code is just so that the people opening it on GitHub, maybe, if they want to build it, they don't see that abomination that was there before, you know. So let's say dimmed 1 dot width, and we will say width as f32 minus 50.0. And let's not have padding because we don't even use it. So yeah, like that. And then maybe, great, so cool. This can happen, but I don't care. Amazing. Okay, enough in UI work. Like, why? This was okay. Cool, I guess. Pro wants to talk business right away. What does IPO? What does IPO mean? Initial public offering is a process where private company first sells share of stock. Okay, amazing. Had a similar idea, but I forgot it. It came to me around 12 a.m. By the way. All right, but you forgot it, so yeah. I have 3 ideas. One is brewing, and I need to start on 2. It's very fun to create stuff. It is. Okay, let's quickly finish that, and then I will kind of, you know, need to go eat and stuff like that. Yeah. So do we have tribe? Yeah, we have that. So let's just have it in here. And have that and say, but let's not destroy the server. So the server can still work even though this API exists, you know? Because I want to commit that, but without destroying the server, essentially. Faith decode frame. Frame pass from buffer. I know a little bit of Java. Java was the first language I ever coded in, by the way. So yeah. Yeah, bye. All Tech AT was great with you in the stream. I will end the stream in a minute as well because yeah, I think we're actually done here. So I think yeah, the last error was just fixed. Let's quickly have a WIP. So WIP transport refactor. In Java, yeah, it's insanely annoying. WIP. So let's say refactor, work in progress. Separate, so transport module abstraction layer. Holy wording, holy wording. My first language was Scratch. Oh, nice, yeah. Scratch is cool. Scratch is cool. I never really did Scratch though, but I think it's cool. So, this PR changes, introduces. You doing stream tomorrow? I don't know. I cannot say. Yeah, maybe not. Introduces multiple files to handle abstraction of transport/wire functionality to into for abstraction of transport/wire functionality. Yeah, I think that's enough. Why don't you use C++? Why don't you use Erlang? Use Erlang, bro. It's the new thing. Great. Okay, cool. So guys, I'm gonna end the stream now. It was very cool. Cool stream. Yeah, so we'll see us in the next one and have a great day and bye-bye.